Would Bora Hansgrohe try to set up Primoz Roglic? A huge breakaway fight emerges once again. This was La Vuelta, stage 12, from Ourense Turmal to Estación de Montaña de Manzanera. This was a breakaway stage a few years ago when David Moncoutier won from the break, but also the last 2Ks are 7% after a half-hour climb. So Primoz Roglic, he's been known to win those. Breakaway goes. It's got the right composition of guys. No dangerous GC rider. It's missing 3 people, though. Van Aert wants to be in. Alpecin want to be in with Hermans or Vergelito. And Israel want to be in with Woods. A Group 2 emerges with those riders. For some reason, it just never gets across despite having the right composition of guys to all cooperate. But the breakaway was living on its edge. It had 30 seconds. Israel do a huge push. They want to get Mike Woods in the Canadian Natty Champs jersey across to this breakaway. It goes down to 14 seconds. It goes down to 5 seconds when Alexander Vlasov sees that he has a gap. Roglic is with him, I believe. That's the Bora rider, and there's no Ben O'Connor. Sivakov is, of course, marking Vlasov. No way he's allowed in the breakaway. Haig is there as well. Woods is getting towed across, and all of a sudden, with more attacks, it looks like this breakaway, which has been hanging out there for 50 Ks maybe, is going to get brought back. Bora, I didn't know if they were marking or what their plan was. I thought they might be going for the stage at a certain point, but then they don't in the end. I couldn't really figure it out. So this breakaway looks like it's done. Look at the gap. It looks like they've completely been brought back. They've all been doing a huge effort to get across. Woods is just about to get across the breakaway, and then Marc Soler saves this breakaway's life. He looks back and does one last huge effort. No one relays over the top of Woods, and that's it. The breakaway goes. It's exactly the same composition. One difference, Narvaez bridged across. The only rider to close the breakaway from the peloton was Narvaez. The door gets shut, and the breakaway is able to fight for the stage with the Decathlon not pacing. Lorenz Huis and Woods caught in the middle, and they had to come back. Decathlon, as an easy a day as they might have hoped for, with no one at all needed to control in the breakaway. They're all on 30 minutes, or Tejada's maybe on 17 minutes on GC. Ineos got 2 riders, though, Oscar Rodriguez and the fast-finishing Jonathan Narvaez. But with 8 minutes gap, tactics are going to be hugely important on a 30-40 minute fast draft heavy climb. You saw Schmidt talking to the car. Soler attacks on the flat early, and because of that lack of pressure from the peloton, basically they can use the whole climb, this breakaway, to play around and attack each other. Ineos do, though. They do have that advantage with multiple riders, but Verona goes. Van Sevenant can't close him, and Verona is a good tactic for him. He's a big engine. His sprint's not so good. He's climbing really well. 5% gradients are really, really good for a versatile sort of rouleur climber like him, and he gets a nice gap. He's brought back, and there's going to be more attacks. So what are Ineos going to do? It's either attack or be attacked, really, because if you don't attack across to Verona, eventually everyone's going to look at Oscar Rodriguez to get on the front and pace, because also Narvaez has the quickest sprint in the group, and that's exactly what happens. Verona's closed. Here's the move. Hollywood performance from Pablo Castrillo. He was doing this all day. He was doing this in the breakaway when it first formed. Maybe he was gassed. He goes super hard, just over the lip. Just as it levels off, it gets flatter. Maybe he benefits from the fact that he's on the pro team, getting the discretionary invite from Unipublic. But if you know who Castrillo is, he came 7th on Lagunas de Naya in Burgos before this. He's very regularly in the top 5 or top 10 of GC in pro races, because he's got a good time trial. He's about 70 kilos, 72 kilos. He climbs really, really well for his size, and that means he's got a lot of power. So on a 5% climb that's undulating, if he can get into time trial mode, get a gap on the breakaway, he has a really good chance of winning, and that's look like what was happening with Schmidt caught in the middle. He gets about 10 seconds closer to Castrillo, but then he stalls. Rodriguez is pacing, but he's losing a second every 100 meters just about to Pablo Castrillo, and he looks like he's going away for the stage win. Or maybe Schmidt is going to get across to him, who's got a fast finish as well. Narvaez has to do something. With Rodriguez losing time, he attacks across. Max Pool's maybe the best climber overall in the group. He was good in Burgos, but Group 2 syndrome does for the favourites. Narvaez, Soler, Poole, Schmidt, they just cannot organize themselves. So even though the last 2 kilometers were much harder and Castrillo began to lose time, he lost about 23 seconds in the last kilometer when Poole accelerated. They left it too late. The Equipo Kern Pharma rider taking his first pro win, the biggest ever win for Equipo Kern Pharma, their first World Tour win, their first .pro or above win on the day that the passing of their founder Manolo Azcona was announced. That's why Castrillo points to the sky. Staff emotional, fantastic to see. GC Group, you didn't miss much if you didn't watch the stage. They rode it in, no problem. About as good a day as O'Connor could have hoped for. Castrillo winning the stage, 8 seconds out of Poole, 16th ahead of Soler, then Schmidt, Narvaez, Van Seven, Tejada, Verona, Menches, Rodriguez rounding out the top 10. Here's what Castrillo had to say after the stage.
The breakaway is very hard to start in a 30 kilometer, and the other guys of the breakaway is strong guys, and yes, very nervous for the final, but I decided to attack in the flat and the stage victory.
In terms of GC, I didn't show it to you yesterday. O'Connor holds a 3:16 lead ahead of Roglic and 3:58 ahead of Mas. We have a brutal finish on Puerto de Ancares tomorrow, which was in the 2014 Vuelta where Contador won. It was later in the race there, and Contador took the stage win and the GCW. So it's going to be fireworks. Roglic needs to take time. Mas has a good chance to win. Can't wait to watch it. I'll see you with a recap tomorrow. Ciao.